same move for the VFX team, and today we're gonna take a look at creating an assisted suicide. So an assisted suicide looks like take a gun. So it looks like that. So the key techniques we're gonna cover is rotoscoping ahead and replacing it with a background. And we're also gonna use some stock footages like within gore, smoke, and muzzle flashes, and of course our upcoming preset pack. So let's get started, and I'll bring out After Effects. Hey, what's up? Same move for the VFX team, and today we're gonna create this effect. Okay, so here I am in After Effects, and let's make a new composition, and 1280 by 720, 23.976, and 4 seconds will be okay. And then we can just import our footage. Here I am shooting myself. Okay, so now let's duplicate this footage, and let's go to the end where you have the background, and let's right click, time, and freeze frame. So we have a freezed frame of the background. And then we can shut the eye switch off, and we can rename this background, and we can name this main plate. Now duplicate this also and move it above the background, and we'll find the point where I get hit by the gun. So this is the point where I get hit. You can see that face. Okay, so we can just trim these both footages by Alt begin bracket, so we can only see them here. Okay, so now I can name this as matte layer, and then we can go to layer, new solid, and a white solid, and let's name it matte. Okay, so now I'll take the mask tool and hit T to decrease the opacity, and then I'll zoom in and create a mask around my head. Okay, and then I can also feather it to remove that harsh edge, and then I can set the anchor point of this layer to where my neck is, so that when I have to rotate it according to my neck, I can rotate it there. And then I can press Shift P to bring out the position, and I'll keyframe these both, and also Shift M and keyframe the mask path. So I'll just move ahead and then rotate it according to my head. Okay, so that's done, and I refined the keyframes a bit, and now let's increase the opacity back to 100%. And then what we'll do is take this matte layer and set the track matte to Luma matte inverted, and then I'll shut the eye switch on for background, so we have our head matted now. Now you can see my hairs a bit, like if I move this you can see the hairs. Press MM and increase the mask expansion to 10, so that expands the mask, and now it looks fine. Okay, so now I have this Blood Burst 3 and Blood Burst 8. I'll bring out in the comp, and let's align this according to our head. Let's focus on the first one first, and I'll just scale it and maybe rotate it like that, then color correct it. Then the second one, effect curves, and yes. Now one thing we might do is take these both layers, go to time stretch, and set the stretch factor to 70, so that speeds them up. And let's see what we have now. Let's stretch the background layer. And now let's add that sound effect from the original example. LL for the waveform. And I align this huge waveform. Okay, so now let's add that muzzle flash. So I have muzzle flash number 10, and I'll bring it out in the comp. Let's align this, and I'll scale this down, and flip it, and then rotate it. Then align this with the blood. Actually, it should be visible before the blood. Okay. So I have this couch at number 1. I'll bring it down in a comp, and we don't want this furry stuff, we just want the smoke. So I'll just trim it all to begin bracket, and we have the smoke. We can scale it to maybe 80%, and we can just color correct this smoke. And actually, not color correction, just boost the alpha. And also the RGB for the brightness. Let's also fade this in. I set the keyframe for opacity. Just move the keyframe a bit forward, and then set the opacity to 0. So that fades in like that. Okay, so now time for our preset pack. Let's add a new adjustment layer, name it CC, and we'll go to animation presets. So when you download that file, just copy it in the presets folder, so it's there in your Windows drive, program files, Adobe After Effects CS6 or the version you're using, support files, presets, and copy that folder so that it's accessible here in After Effects. So I'll open it, and we'll have 3 folders: adjustments, tones, and transitions. Now this pack isn't completed yet, we're still working on it. Now let's drag this sunny tone on our adjustment layer so you get that effect. Now you can increase the tint amount, and we can decrease the blue. Now this video is too much dark, so I can go to adjustments, and you can use the dark removal adjustment. So that removes the dark. Now maybe I can remove these curves and then add an overall contrast, so you can see the difference. Okay, so this is how the final effect looks like. Hope you all enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll see you next time.